Thanks a lot, Roseanne. I'm out at the Huntington Country Club, and this is a very different experience, an activity that combines so many sports. It's called platform tennis.
Its formal name is platform tennis, though in shortness people always say we're going to go play paddle. It does get a little confusing because there are 2 or 3 other paddle sports out there, but the proper name is platform tennis.
Platform tennis differs from tennis in that in tennis, if somebody's got more power and more consistency than you, you're done. You're going to lose. In platform tennis, the wires enable you to play the game with a lot of guile and caginess, so that if a ball's hit too hard for you to handle, you simply step aside, let it play off the back wire, and hit it back up in the air. So a good lob in platform tennis is impossible to put away. The best player in the country can't put away a good lob, not on a regular basis anyway. So even a weak player can play with a strong player by playing intelligently.
Sounds like standard tennis, but just a little bit smaller. So what are the rules?
The rules for the most part mirror tennis. There are a couple of minor exceptions. The major exception are the wires that surround the court. The ball can be played off the wires after it lands within the court of play. If the ball bounces over the wires on the fly, even if it lands in the court, you lose the point. Other obvious rule is it's 1 serve instead of 2.
The ball is a solid sponge rubber ball. The paddles themselves are 18 inches long. Most paddles have a metal frame around the outside with some sort of foam core for the base of the paddle, and different hole patterns in the paddle, if you will, that allow for different spins and different playability of the paddle.
The sport now has high technology, but it has gone through major changes.
Okay, there have been 2 things that I think have been critical in the evolution of the game over the last 15 or 20 years. One is technology. The paddles, when I first started playing the game in the early 90s, were paper thin, and if you hit the ball slightly off center, the ball would hit the paddle and dribble down at your feet. The paddles now are much more solid and enable a lot more in the way of shot making. The second component that has really changed the sport is the athleticism, as more and more tennis players have been drawn into it. As you've seen the shot making impact the game over the last 15 years, it's been astonishing to see. And I have friends who played the game in the 80s, and it was lob, 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 overheads. It was a very boring, slow game. And the game that's played now bears no resemblance to that one whatsoever. They're 2-handed backhands, people are slashing the ball, the drop shot is very common, the ball is being driven from places that they never dreamed of driving it, in part due to athleticism and part due to technology.
With the growth of the sport, more and more people want to get involved, and it's easier than you'd think.
You can do it through a country club, you can do it through a YMCA. The Garden City Rec has got 4 courts that are open to Garden City members. There are public courts in New Hyde Park, and there are also some public courts up in Port Washington. Up by, I think, at Sands Point. So there are some public courts around the country. That's one of the things that the APTA has worked hard on doing, is to getting more public access courts around the country. It's one of our big pushes. You're outside in the middle of the winter getting exercise. I remember getting in my car to go play, and the temperature in my car was 15 degrees. I was in a bunch of sweatshirts. After 15 minutes, I was sweating profusely. I'd taken off my top 2 layers. I played for an hour and 45 minutes, and on the car ride home, I had icicles in the back of my hair. And I was outside in a confined environment with 3 of my buddies getting exercise while I was listening to the weather warnings on the way to play, saying, stay inside, bundle up. And here I am outside getting exercise. It was just wonderful.